Hi everyone. Have you ever wanted to try something, or you've been forced to try something new, and you didn't want to be the very first person to try it out? Well, I'll go first. On today's episode of I'll Go First, I'm going to talk about how I got prescription glasses for the very first time in my life. So, research. What research I did for this was very minimal. As I was living life, then my wife said, "You're starting to squint more when you're looking at the computer, the TV, and things like that." Even when we visited my parents, they're like, "You're squinting a lot more. You need to go see the doctor." So finally, I went and saw the eye doctor, went to the eye examination, and it reminded me very much of the Brian Regan skit, the comedian, about going to the eye doctor. You should go look that up if you haven't seen that. So I got finished with the eye examination, and she says, "Well, you have an astigmatism in both eyes, and I think if you got some corrective lenses, either contacts or glasses, then that would help you see better." And she got some example lenses and kind of put them in some makeshift glasses and had me look at the wall across the room and said, "Okay, look at the letters." And then she put the lenses over my eyes and said, "Oh, is it clear?" And I said, "Yeah, that looks a lot clearer." And then she handed me a piece of paper and had me hold it at reading level and said, "Okay, now look at this paper." And then she put the lenses over my eyes and said, "Now does it look clear?" And I said, "Yeah, it does." So it's like, hey, sweet, I got a life where I can see things clearer. So they're like, "Well, let's get you some glasses." Well, fortunately, one thing that I had done with my wife previously, knowing that I was probably gonna get glasses because I was squinting so much, is we went to the mall and went to a couple different glasses shops, and we tried on the different frames and different styles of frames and kind of figured out what style of frame I wanted to get starting out. That was helpful because they were ready to set me up with glasses that day, and had I not really thought through kind of what frames I wanted, I think that could have been really intimidating and kind of been like, "Oh geez, I don't know what to get. I'm gonna be wearing these things for like the next year or whatever every day of my life." So I think that was helpful, and I'd recommend anybody who's getting glasses for the first time to maybe take some time to think about what lenses they want, or if they kind of know they're going to have to get glasses, to go ahead beforehand and kind of look at the frame style you're looking for. So we decided on the frames and the glasses that we wanted to get and went ahead and ordered them. And when they came in a few days later, then I went to the glasses place and picked them up, the doctor's place, and I put them on, and everything was distorted. My depth perception was way off. Things were looking slanted and angled, and the lady was like, "Here, sign this paper that said that you picked up your glasses." I looked down at the counter, and the counter looked like it was sloped at like a 45-degree angle downhill. And I took off the glasses. I was like, "Whoa, you know, my vision is way messed up. My depth perception is way off. Things look weird." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's normal, not a big deal. Your brain will get used to it. Just gotta wear them a bunch." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Are you gonna wear the glasses out?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I can't. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall down because I can't walk because everything's off so much." And she's like, "Okay, well, that's fine, you know. Yeah, just keep wearing them. Give it a few days, 3 or 4 days, you'll be good to go." Like, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that. So I picked them up at lunch break, went home for lunch, and started looking around at the house, and everything is just still distorted and still all crazy. And I'm sitting down and just looking around the house, I'm starting to get motion sick. I'm starting to feel sick to my stomach because everything looks so crazy. So I call him back and I say, "Hey, look, I picked up my glasses like an hour ago, and I know you said everything would look crazy and stuff, but I mean, I'm getting motion sick here because this is so messed up. Is this normal or what?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, most people have to wear them when they're sitting down and kind of get used to them, maybe first thing in the morning." And I'm like, "I know, I am sitting down, and I feel like this is way more than the normal person." They're like, "Nah, just give it a while, you'll be all right." It's like, okay. So I start wearing them, and things start to get a little bit better after a couple days, true. But a couple days later, I'm still like, things are way off. This is something wrong. So I start calling some friends that I know that know about eyes, and I start asking everyone that has glasses, and I'm like, "Hey, what was it like the first time you got prescription glasses?" And everybody's kind of like, "Well, it was, you know, I can't, either it was too long ago and I couldn't remember," or some people are like, "Yeah, I remember there was an adjustment period." I'm like, "Do you remember how extreme it was, or what, you know?" They're like, "It was, you know, all right." But I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it, I got the glasses on a Tuesday. And I was like, I'm gonna give it to the weekend, and then if I still have got things that are off, I'm gonna call them back on Monday the next week. It will have been about 6 days I've had the glasses, and I'll talk to them. Well, that was earlier this week. So I called them back on Monday and I said, look, a lot of the stuff that I was seeing has changed. Like I had like pictures that I knew were square, or pieces of paper that I knew were square were kind of like slanted at first, and all my depth perception was off. And all that slowly corrected itself, but I still feel like my vision was slant to the left, fade away to the left when it's not true, at like arm length level to the left hand side. So I tell them that on the phone on Monday. And on all the times I've called them, I've kind of said, well, can I talk to the doctor? And they're like, well, what's your problem, you know? So anyway, she says, give it another week. Your brain's still getting used to it. Just wear them constantly for another week, and if you still feel like you're having those issues, then you have to call back. We'll have you come back in for another examination. So here we are on about day 8 of me wearing my new glasses, and I think the slanting away problem to the left at arm's length is starting to kind of go away a little bit, but it's still definitely there. So I'm torn, because here's the thing. I'm thinking that our brains are pretty cool things, and if we look at anything long enough, our brain is going to adjust for it, right? If you look through some weird lens or through water or something like that where everything's distorted, your brain will eventually recalculate itself and will correct your vision, depending on how much neuroplasticity your brain has, right? So maybe it's taken me a long time to get used to my new glasses because my neuroplasticity is poor. I don't know. But I'm not sure that that's a good thing, right? I mean, should it be that far off or not? I'm still torn. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, what your first glasses experience has been. Anyway, so we're gonna see how this plays out. We're gonna see if I go for another week, if my vision corrects itself completely or not. But what I would have liked to have known first, debriefing here, is that this was something to be expected. They didn't let me know this until I put on the glasses and I was about to walk out the door. And everyone else I talked to was kind of like, oh yeah, there is kind of an adjustment period. So I was just pumped before I got the glasses that I was gonna see things clear, because after the examination, she gave me an example and said, hey look, you're gonna see things clear farther away, and you're gonna see things better close up. And it's like, hey, that's sweet. Not knowing that I was gonna get motion sick for the first week. So, a warning to all those people out there who are getting corrective lenses, whether, I don't know about contacts, but definitely glasses for the first time. It's gonna be crazy for the first little while, from what I'm told and my experience, and you're gonna have to get used to them. And yeah, your nose gets a little sore and your ears get a little bit sore, but it is nicer to see things clearer without having to squint. And one other thing that has been really cool about getting glasses that I wasn't anticipating was that all the colors seem more vibrant, which in retrospect I guess makes sense, because if things aren't as blurry on the edges and the colors of two different objects aren't blending into each other, then those colors will seem more vibrant. That's my guess. But all I know is that reds look more red, greens look more green, yellows look more yellow. All the colors seem a lot more vibrant and true to their color. So that's pretty cool. Well, that's pretty much it for me. Again, let me know in the comment section your experience about getting glasses for the first time. And we'll see you on the next episode of I'll Go First.